Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Carafano joining us.
Jim Carafano.
There is something that you can do, you personally as an individual, to make the world safer for your children and your grandchildren. And that is listen to Almond in the Morning.
Chilling at the aeropuerte. Where you going, buddy?
Hey, so I have some breaking news for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm at the airport, and I just interviewed an American Airlines pilot, and she was all excited. She says, we have a new motto. Our motto is, we're American Airlines. We may lose your bag, but we won't kick your butt.
That is great. Well,
I think that's very opportunistic of them.
no doubt about it. Sooner or later, you're going to be here, flying here to St. Louis for the Almond in the Evening Speaker Series with Genevieve Wood and Jim Talent, and that's going to be Thursday, May 4th at Norman Probstein Golf Course Clubhouse in Forest Park, and tickets are free. You got to register, though, and thank you, Weber Chevrolet, for sponsoring that event. So, the mother of all bombs, huh? What'd you think?
So I wrote a piece on this on the Daily Signal. I actually wrote it in the airport yesterday on my cell phone. So, I think there's a couple of things, and obviously I haven't talked to anybody in the Pentagon, so I'm just kind of operating off the same news as everybody else. But there are some changes going on in the Trumpian world, and this may reflect that. One is under Obama, there was a lot of very centralized, very risk-averse operations in Afghanistan. It's much more important that we lower our profile and get out than we actually kill all the terrorists and secure the country. And the Trump team appears to have kind of done a 180. It says, look, we don't want to fight. We don't want a nation build in Afghanistan. We don't want to fight the Afghans' war for them. But we want to defeat ISIS, and we want this to be successful. So the administration has decentralized a lot of the authority to do operations in the field. They've taken a lot of the restraints off, and they say, do what you need to do to get the job done. And this may reflect that.
It was curious, and I'll play for you a soundbite from when President Trump made the statement. Cut number 8 here. Listen to this for a second, if you don't mind.
Another successful event.
Did you authorize it, sir?
Everybody knows exactly what happened. And what I do is I authorize my military. We have the greatest military in the world, and they've done a job as usual.
That was an unusual question for someone to ask, did you authorize it? What do you think the genesis of that particular question would have been? Because presumably, this wasn't like would the president have to authorize the dropping of a bomb like this anyway?
No, and this, there's actually some articles critical that, oh my God, Trump is abdicating his responsibility to the generals, and that's not what's happened here at all. Is people have been conditioned by 8 years of Obama that the president has to make every military decision, like he's a character on the West Wing TV show,
right? And
that nobody can do anything unless the president says it's okay. That's a nut. It's nuts to try to run the world from the White House, particularly in military operations. It's ridiculous to hire generals and then put them in the field and put them responsible for people's lives and then say, but if you want to do anything, ask permission first. So we're actually going back to kind of a more sensible policy in which, presidents make presidential decisions. If they were going to drop a nuclear weapon, they might have asked the president. But if they're just going after the enemy in the field, the notion of going all the way back to the White House to ask for permission to kill some terrorists, that's just nuts talk.
Yeah. It sounded to me, the question was so out of left field. I think part of it might have had to do with the fact that they people kept on comparing this to a nuclear weapon, and maybe that was the reason why. Because it was even though it is a big bomb, we get it, but it wasn't like it was unprecedented and crazy and
No, it's like a factor of 10, like not a nuclear weapon. This is exactly what those things are designed for. So. When you dig down underground, it's very, very, very difficult to get at those kind of targets. And what these kind of bombs were developed for is they create kind of a massive overpressure. And you're not actually blowing stuff up. What you're doing is you're crushing it, because the overpressure basically is hitting the surface and then just slamming the surface down. And and hopefully crushing the tunnels and any infrastructure that's underneath that.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive looking at it and watching how it works. That's for sure.
Yeah, not if you're on the receiving end. It's not all that great.
No, I mean you don't even know what's kind of hitting you. You know,
well, that would be a blessing. Yeah. No, I mean it's
right.
look. I mean the reality is Obama was just trying to run out the clock in Afghanistan, and again, we're not there to rebuild Afghanistan. We're not there to fight their war for them, but we have an interest in not having Al Qaeda and ISIS have a foothold in Afghanistan. It would be deeply destabilizing for Asia. The last time we left them alone there, we wound up with a hole in the middle of downtown Manhattan. So defeating them in Afghanistan, it does make a lot of sense. And there's a larger thing here which really kind of illustrates this is what Trump's foreign policy is. He is not George Bush, where we're just going to go in and rearrange everything. He's not Barack Obama, which we're going to look for an excuse to leave. There are parts of the world that are important to us. We're going to go there, and we're going to stay there till our interests are protected.
Well, there's word that, and this is all, I see all these reports, and they never turn out to be true, but it just seems like a lot of speculation. But anyway, that McMaster wants to send in thousands of ground troops into Syria. And
well, yeah, I mean, here's what I do know, which is what they have been doing, which I think is actually very smart, which is they're briefing the president on putting all the options on the table. What can we do? Now, a lot of those options are going to get pushed off to the side. So, like, for example, what can we do with North Korea? Well, we can bomb them. Okay, we can, but look, we're not going to do that, right? But it's important, I think, so the president knows, and then you talk about what's due. And actually, I think it's good that people in the White House put everything on the table and then disagree if they don't think it's the right answer and argue it out. This is not Obama's White House where Barack Obama and Valerie Jarrett go into the Oval Office, close the door, they decide what's good for their politics, and then they come out and tell everybody to do that.
Right.
This is the way White Houses are supposed. This is what the National Security Council was designed to do when it was created, the National Security Act of 1947, using it in the way that people like Dwight Eisenhower did, which is come in. I'm the decision maker. You guys brief me, and then I'm going to make an adult decision. So,
right.
But you're right. A lot of that stuff in the press, people leak that, and they want to have agendas and everything. Just knows really what ground truth is. McMaster's is. I can't tell you where it is. Never mind.
Okay. Listen to you. I love it. All under the radar, buddy. Well, great. Safe travels to you, Jimmy. A blessed Easter to you. And we're looking forward to seeing you here in less than a couple weeks, I think, for the May 4th Almond in the Evening with Genevieve Wood and Jim Talent. So thank you, brother.
All right, talk to you soon, Fred.
All right, have a good one. And
Right.
Again, you guys can go to 971talk.com for all the details. Tickets are free, but you got to register, and they're filling up fast. It's Common Sense Radio.